So one of the things that we brought us up to Georgia up here also, didn't say this earlier, but I got a lang. I got a lang. Yes, I did. Everybody's gonna say, "What is a lang?" L-A-N-G. A lang.
I did the same thing. What is a lang?
A lang smoker. Yes. Awesome, man. It's it's a man's toy, man. It's a barbecue smoker cooker. They custom make them up here in Georgia and everything, and I got one. And hey, who knows? For them people that might want to come up here and spend some time in the hills with us, or whatever the case may be, hey, they might see that smoker, man, smoking some meat.
My husband is a really good cook too, so
smoking that meat. So you never know what might come around when you smell some
honey,
Boston butt smoking away.
Okay, so honey, tell the viewers.
Do I believe in UFOs?
How long you gonna have to wait for your laying?
It's like 3 months.
It is a 3-month wait. They're world famous, but it's a 3-month wait.
Did you ask them if you give them more money, you get it quicker?
No, I didn't ask them that. They just said 3 months wait, but they did tell me, they said, because I was torn between a 48 and the smaller 36 one, and Beata looked, when I was smiling at the big 48 behemoth, which is about like that big around, I was like, oh yeah.
Us women were saying,
this is what I like.
Let me tell you.
And Beata
us girls were going, no, it's not practical.
Beata was looking at me like, where am I going to put it? And I'm like, man, I could smoke some serious meat on here. But so anyway, the guy that he goes, hey sir, if you change your mind, just let me know. And because there's time, they haven't built it yet. But yeah, all custom made stuff. Go on YouTube, go on their website, check them out. They are not cheap, man. I'll tell you that much. But you can't go wrong on a lang. They use them in competition smoking, and it's one of them offset indirect heat things. So you just keep feeding wood, coal, charcoal in there, keep stoking the fire, and it'll take care of the rest, man. Hickory.
Yeah. Maple,
hickory, maple, all the rest of that good stuff. So I thought
we like to eat.
I thought about so I should just do barbecuing, man. I was like, this Bigfoot is too dangerous, man. This is just do barbecuing, but yeah. Oh well, just wanted to share that. You're cooking with a lang.
So you were going to ask me something. So what were you going to ask me?
Yeah.
What my thoughts were about something.
Yeah. The unidentified phenomena that's going on. I've always, I know this has always been like a Bigfoot channel and everything, but I still have interest in these things. I have interest in pursuing some of this stuff also. I don't know how to go about it, but I do know people do tell me they see things.
Oh,
they see things
out
in the wilderness areas.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they see things. So I've always wanted to maybe include that in the work. Do I think there's a connection? I think there's ample evidence out there that there's some kind of connection somehow with it. I mean,
I've always thought that.
Like how do people go missing in our areas? Stuff like this.
I've always thought it from the get-go, because I know from personal experience, you don't go out somewhere looking for Bigfoot and then hear voices, because in the back of your mind you're thinking, well, wait a minute, what am I hearing on the parabolic? That's not Bigfoot related. That's like laughter, voices, jumbled up words. That's nothing to do with Bigfoot. So you have to ask yourself, well, what is that? So yeah, if you are trying to include Hey, I'm sorry, Bigfoot didn't yank my ponytail sitting out in the middle of the darkness in the middle of the green swamp. What
Well,
was that?
But we hear interesting things from what we would consider trustworthy people. As in, they wouldn't pull your leg with a so-called, you know, crazy story or a ridiculous story to tell you just to pull your leg. Should just all this stuff just be dismissed? Should it just be casted aside? Should we just all ignore it? If we go about that, we start cherry picking. We start cherry picking the evidence, because there is ample evidence out there. With the U.S. military coming forward with stuff, and
Yes, we
I don't
do.
know. I think it should be. I think it should also be on the table. Also,
We do get a lot of viewers that get upset with us.
Well, heck, there's shortage of people getting upset, but we have a lot of people that like what we do too.
I know, but they'll say stuff like, "Are you Bigfoot hunters?" or
Oh, you ghost chase?
Yes,
You're
and it's
chasing
not,
ghosts. Yeah.
And it's not that at all. If you're
No.
out there, what we do is report what we hear and what we see.
No, I
And
never
if-
did ever once go out in the swamp ever trying to. I never
don't go
ever
out
once
looking for
went out there
ghosts.
trying to go looking for spirits, ghosts,
We go out there-
paranormal things or anything like that. I've never done that.
We
but
go out there looking for Bigfoot. But if we
But it happens.
if we hear and see something that's what we think is not Bigfoot related, we still want to report it to you guys. That doesn't make us,
like the calf,
yeah.
like the calf.
Yeah.
The you took my phone in the house. Had a rancher. Will tell you about the calf. Mark and I had secured going on this rancher's property. He has 2 square miles right in a good area. And let me tell you, it's a good area. It's in the green swamp. 2 square miles, and we had just secured agreements, permissions, and we were just going to start to go out there. We had permission to go out there at night, do campfires and things like that, and just kind of put the FLIR out there. You can just let the FLIR run and let your equipment do the work and just kind of let stuff come to you. It was an ideal setup, but it just didn't go that way, people. But this guy also does some ranching. Anyway, long story short, he sends us a photo. He sends Mark a photo. Mark walks over and shows me a photo. It's a picture of a half calf. All right?
Yeah.
It's a half calf.
We all see the photo.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. It's a half calf. It's laying there on the ground, 200 yards behind the rancher's house. No blood, no guts, no evidence of a struggle. There's no birds, no flies. He said nothing. He said the calf, and it was missing an ear. He said the calf was like it just fell,
Dropped from outer space.
just like it just fell there.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you look at the picture of the calf, there's no guts inside the calf. They're all gone. And so if coyotes, you logically say, coyotes, it's a coyote kill, right? Or a wolf kill, or whatever the case may be. Even the case may be, if that happened, he's told me, he said, I have seen coyotes kills before out here, and I've seen those types of kills. And he said, I know what I'm looking for in those types of things.
And this one was different.
Yes, and he said I would see the signs.
Yeah.
And he said, in this case, I saw no sign.
It was like it was clean.
No explanation.
We all saw the pictures.
And
Chris showed us all.
the bones were just like broke.
Yeah, like snap.
Yeah, they were like broke all in a line, so to speak.
There was no blood, no fur,
And the calf was missing the ear
no
facing
evidence.
up. He was missing the ear facing up to the sky. Now, one guy that I work with periodically from time to time, a good friend, I showed him the photo and I said, what do you think? And he said, he said, could be poachers. Could just be poachers out there. And I said, well, would poachers go right behind a rancher's house and
Leave it.
and poach right behind a rancher's house and risk getting shot, you know? And he said, well, you never know, man. Some of these guys are pretty slick in what they do, you know? And, you know, and with the virus going on, maybe there's people out of work. You know, he gave it a logical thing. Maybe there's people out of work. They had reason to go in there and get some veal. You know what I mean? Because the calf wasn't that big. And I said, okay, I can deal with that. I get that. Fast forward a few months. He contacts me and says, I'm not so sure anymore that the calf might have been killed by poachers. And I said, why do you say that? And he said, because we've seen something out on the trail. And I said, oh, really, did you? And he said, they seen it on FLIR. And he said, they went back out there with another man and tried to get some scale at a later date. And he said, well, whatever it was that we saw, it's at least 6'5" or larger. That's what he said. And he said he did not have any clear-cut answers. But it was heading in the direction where the rancher lives.
Or the
yeah,
calf,
so,
where the calf was laid.
yeah, where the rancher lives. And like I said, 2 square miles. So there's been interesting things happen, man. I you know, so when it comes to the possibility of putting things on the table that's not specifically just Bigfoot related, I'm not beyond not asking those questions and pursuing some of these. I'm just not. Now, I have an interest in it.
Well, you know, and I think it's always a healthy thing too to think outside that box. Because there's just too many things that we haven't posted on our videos that we all know that's happened to us that we just don't think is just Bigfoot related. You know, the laughter, the demonic voices, all of the things that Mark has heard in the parabolic.
Now,
You know, you have to question that.
And many times privately I've told people privately that the swamp is extremely paranormal. And
well, it goes back to what this person that my son knows personally that has said about the green swamp.
But this leads me to think of something, you know. Swamp is very paranormal, in my opinion, and I think you guys feel the same way. Kind of the best way I can kind of describe it in a lot of our interactions with whatever it is, it's kind of like some of the areas that we've been in the swamp and we went repeatedly over and over and over and over again was like Skinwalker Ranch, man. Like the stuff you hear from Skinwalker Ranch, and the voices. I mean, short of something running out to you and just making itself right in your face. Short of that, we've had a lot of stuff happen to us.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard voices. We've been touched. We've all been touched, I think.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And it's like counting coup, where the Indians had a thing called counting coup, where they had to run up and touch in order to progress up their
ladder,
their levels of warrior, of being the levels of warrior. They had to be able to touch the enemy underneath certain conditions,
yeah,
and get away with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, you look at it's kind of like counting coup a little bit.
Well, that would make it kind of fitting out there in the swamp.
I mean, the swamp is just a freaking amazing place, but it's not an amazing place to. It's not an amazing place just to go out there and just, you know, take a walk in the park and.
No, there's too many. There's a lot of dangerous elements, and
I hope that guy, what's his name? Man, I sure hope that Florida Trailblazer guy,
yeah,
the Florida Trailblazer guy, walks out, goes to a lot of places alone, man. Man, I would caution him big time to try to find a partner, man. Just
You know,
I
and
know
I
he does a lot of that stuff alone.
And
But
I find it very,
ooh, this fire is getting hot.
I find it very strange that people would call us chicken, and we don't need to go back out in the swamp no more because we.
Oh,
filled
you guys run from your own shadows,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And let me address that a little bit.
I don't know.
Unless you're out there and you repeatedly hear this stuff or feel this stuff or see this stuff that we have seen, and a lot of the videos aren't on our YouTube channel. There's just too many of them. I don't know. I get a little. It's not that we're chicken. We're just letting you guys know how serious this is. This is nothing to mess around with.
No.
And for us to even take a chance and go out there at night, I wouldn't say any of us were chicken at all. And we continuously do it. We still do it. Over and over and over and over. We still go out there, regardless of what some people think about us.
There's a lot of things that we do for our personal protection that we just don't film.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't film. There's a lot of things that we personally do. For our own personal protection. They seem to work. They seem to work.
All right. So how are we going to end this discussion? So we wanted to get a video out because we hadn't had one out in a while. And we're not giving up on it. We're just thinking about things to do differently. Correct?
Yeah, I would like to maybe transition more into, you know, I want to transition more into maybe more prolonged, longer duration, maybe more longer duration, less frequent, but stay in longer durations. In other words, stay in
Instead of it-
places of interest,
Instead of it
have
being,
a base camp operation and
Yeah.
work from there, as opposed to hit the swamp after work.
Yeah,
you know,
2
and
hour-
just freaking running an exhaustion.
instead of
man.
it being a 2-hour trip or an adventure or a outing, we were thinking of maybe making it more extensive. 3-day, 4-day, something different is what we're thinking.
Yeah, and invite people to come along and stuff like that sometimes. I don't know, we're kicking things around. We'll see.
But anyway, so it's been great talking.
Yeah,
And
and hopefully tomorrow, if all goes well, we'll be able to film some stuff in daylight.
yeah,
There you go.
in this particular area that we're going to.
So what we're going to do is we're going to assess, when we go there, we're going to assess distance. We're going to assess how difficult it is to pull any trailers.
Campers.
Yeah, campers, because if we go there, we would like to be able to stay there. You know, it's pretty remote. Have a look at it to see if it kind of gives you that vibe, you know, that feeling, man, that,
Well, we know there's been activity there. That's documented.
yes. And so we got to be careful about how we go about it, because it is national property. So we got to be careful about how we go about things, what we say, because you can lose your welcome.
Quit.
You can lose your welcome real quick. As soon as you say you're out there bigfooting, you can lose your welcome really fast, man. That's why it's extremely important to, you know, try to get rapport with people out there. And so we'll see what tomorrow brings, you know.
Yep. All right.
Ty, you know, we'll see if Ty's up to it or not.
Yeah. We'll see.
Beata, you up to it?
I'm gonna try.
All right, so we'll see you till tomorrow.
All right.
Good
Bye.
night. Good night.
Who?
Yeah, you definitely don't need to film Betty Jean now.
Hey,
Hey, don't shine a light on it.
on the fire?
No.
Sorry. I didn't know I was doing it.
He's filming.
I didn't know I was shining the light on the fire.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Check out those eyes. Ah!
He's still got the eyes.
Eddie, are you watching the clock?
We don't know what zone it is.
Old movie. That's
My ears are popping.
more miles than this.
I got a signal up here.
Might have to get out and break it.
Locked. There we go. Hang on.
That is a fucking drop off right there. It's close, but I think okay.
Keep going. Got a little bit of rock right here. Oh, you smell that?
Is it the sage?
Something's dead. When we first stopped, it smelled like something was dead.
Yeah, I smell it. Yep.
Ooh, it smells musky.
Yep, that's pretty.
I smelled it.
That's a pretty view.
It's musky.
As soon as we stopped, the wind came in the vehicle and
It's
it
a
was,
combination of dead and
it was like
musky.
something dead.
It's musky smelling, man.
What was it? Who was it? Something was dead.
That is just.
We didn't have the camera running. I hate to say that, but it was in the vehicle. We separated, and Beata and I came more forward. Betty and Ty stayed back that way. And we heard one whistle, then was another whistle, and Beata said, yeah. I thought it was coming from over here on this side.
We were a ways from you guys, but it sounded like it was in front of us.
Yes, and so we're going to keep our eyes open for hikers. See if it was just hikers up and along this roadway right here, but there doesn't seem to be anything down there. It doesn't seem to be any path down there. It's not to say there isn't a path, but
There could be some people
see.
doing like what we call primitive hiking. You
yeah,
know,
we'll keep our eyes open. So I
backpacking
just want to make a note of
overnight.
that. Interesting was when we separated.
And
That's all.
there's birds too.
Yeah. We'll see.
Did you see behind you that in the tree? You see how the wood,
The stick in the
air?
tree.
the stick
yeah.
in the tree?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I just noticed that.
Well, let's keep going then. It won't be too much further.
Look at Ty over there too. He's vaping. Look at my husband. Look at my brother. Smiling.
Look, smiling.
Smiling over wood. Really? There's for two people, no doubt, because there's two rockers. And there's two chairs.
Yeah, it's a two-person setup.
This is nice. This is nice.
Hey Chris,
This is nice.
there's a trail that comes from that cabin.
Yeah,
all
that
the
connects
way.
them.
Yeah, it connects them.
There's a bigger one up there though. Like a two-bedroom.
Yeah, it was like a two-bedroom. These are smaller. Yeah, these are nice.
When you peek in the oh, he ties right.
Well, we looked in the bedroom.
She died in that house. On the freaking couch in my living room that I sat on and my mom sat on.
Hold on. Who died? Who died?
The lady that owned the house before my parents bought it.